Yo, what's up? Jer-dog here, jer-dogcomedy.com, the bar comic on YouTube, which is probably where you're watching this right now. Otherwise, I'm the bar comic on Instagram, the bar comic on Facebook, Mighty Jer-dog on Twitter. I'm all over the motherfucking place. I'm all over the country, driving all over as well. Last night I was in Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, Juneau, Wisconsin, just outside of Beaver Dam, Wisconsin. A little small town, little tiny bar. Little tiny crowd. It was a lot of fun, as usual. I always have a great time. You know, my motto, always have fun. They'll always have fun with you. You'll never have a bad show. And that's exactly how it went down last night. Did not have a bad show. It was a lot of fucking fun. And but had a huge potential for turning into a fucking disaster. My opening act goes on stage. We do a mic check, and it sounded kind of weird to me, the microphone check. It just sounded kind of a little bit weird, but it sounded, usable. It was audible. Everybody could hear. It was clear. It was just kind of over-modulated, just a little feedbacky, but nothing that maybe some knob adjustment couldn't take care of. Anyway, my opening act gets on stage, and she just cannot get that fucking microphone to work at all. Cutting in and out, just going completely out eventually. So she just sets it down and does her 10-15 minute set. Sans microphone. No microphone whatsoever. And I've definitely done that before. I don't like performing without a microphone. I do sound effects, I do voices, I use it as kind of like a prop. So I actually kind of need the microphone. But I've definitely done shows without a microphone before. In fact, you can go look on my YouTube channel right now and look up a video called How to Do Stand-Up Comedy with No Lights or Microphone. And you'll see me in a casino, 400 people, the lights just go out, the sound just goes out, all the power just goes out, maybe 10 minutes into my set. It stays that way throughout my entire set until the very end, and it all just suddenly comes back on again. In a casino of all places. They had a power outage, like it was Ocean's 11 up in there or something. But I did 45 minutes with no lights or microphone, just projected, made a lot of jokes about the situation. It was for a contracting company. A lot of the contractors went out to their truck. They brought in these work lamps, these portable work lamps, and they were putting them up on the stage, so I had a little bit of lighting that way. But otherwise, I did a show with no microphone in the complete dark for 400 people in Deadwood, South Dakota. It can be done. So last night when I'm getting ready to go on stage and I see that we have these microphone problems, I know that I can do it. I know that I can do it. I know I can do a goddamn show without a microphone. I just don't want to, man. It's so much better when I have the microphone, when I can do sound effects, I can do my voices, I can be as loud as I want. I don't just have to stand there and project. I can walk around a little bit. When you stand there and project, you have to be more stationary. Speak out loud to everybody. Not sing it like that. That'd be weird. But you get my point. You got to project out loud. I don't necessarily like doing that. I like talking into the microphone. Anyway, I get on stage and I'm using that fucking microphone. So I pick it up, I get it from the bar owner, and he switched out the battery or whatever, gives it back to me. I get on stage, it's still cutting in and out. So now what are you gonna fucking do? Now what are you gonna do? Still cutting in and out. Well, a lot of comedians would freak out. I can't work with this piece of shit microphone. Have this attitude about it. Maybe even walk off the stage. Maybe even not even do the show. I've heard of that happening before, where a comedian doesn't like whatever situation or conditions he's given and just fucking bails. I don't believe in that. I do not believe in that. If your enemy is this close to you, do you just curl up and die, or do you figure out your way to get out of that situation? That's what I learned from watching that movie Kill Bill. You ever see Kill Bill? Kill Bill? The Quentin Tarantino movie, Kill Bill? Kill Bill Volume 2. Uma Thurman goes up to train with the Kung Fu master, Pai Mei. And at one point, he has her trying to karate chop through this giant, huge, thick piece of wood. Impossible. She's like, yeah, 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 just punching and punching and punching. She's got bloody knuckles. Pai Mei gets up there and he's like, kaboom! And the blocker, he puts his fist right through it and explodes. And he's like this far away from it. And then Uma Thurman, he goes, can you do that? And Uma Thurman's like, well, I could, but just not from that close. And he smacks her over the head with a fucking cane, and she goes down on the ground. He twists his arms behind her back. And he's like, what are you going to do when your enemy's only that close to you? Are you just going to give up? Are you just going to curl up and die? Is that what you're going to do? She's like, no. He's like, this is my, and he's got her hand tied behind her back. And he's like, this is my hand now. And since I own this hand, it does what I say it to do. And it's going to chop through that fucking wood, you know? So that's not exactly the lines, but that's basically the gist of it. So she just works on it all day. Kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And eventually she's able to do it. Then years later, whenever it is, according to the movie, she's going after her enemies. One of them captures her. Michael Madsen character captures her and buries her alive in a wooden casket 6 feet under. She's laying there in the dark with nothing but the flashlight. She's got a knife in her boot. She's freaking out. Oh, I'm buried alive. Oh. But then she calms down. She meditates. And she remembers a lesson from Pai Mei. Just because your enemy's this close from you, you don't give up and die. You fucking karate chop your way out of that shit, man. So what does Uma Thurman do? When she remembers all this, she goes, all right, Pai Mei, here I come. And she just starts kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. And she karate chops her way out of that fucking casket, digs herself out of the ground, and emerges from being buried alive. And that's what can happen when you do stand-up comedy, man. If you come across a condition or a situation where you're like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to handle this. What are you gonna do? You gonna allow yourself to be buried alive? You're just gonna allow yourself to die right then and there, metaphorically, you know, in the comedic sense, just die in front of the crowd. Just let the situation claim victory over you. Is that what you're gonna do? Or are you gonna find your way to use the lesson from Pai Mei and fucking karate chop your way out of that shit? You know, Bruce Lee said that once. He said, be like water. Meaning water finds all the cracks to work its way down to wherever it needs to go. So you gotta be like Bruce Lee. Be like Bruce Lee. Be like water. Jiu-jitsu yourself out of that shit. Kung fu your way out of whatever fucked up situation you're given. Like last night, I was given a fucked up microphone. I just dealt with it, man. I made a few jokes. I learned how to adjust my delivery. I went a little bit slower so it'd come out even crisper. I was just aware of the situation. And you know what? I actually learned a lot. I'll go back and watch that videotape, and I've got new lines in there because I had to go slower, because I was forced to go slower in order to compensate for a shitty microphone and bad sound. It forced me to go slower, but I was able to come up with more punchlines. I was able to slow down my thinking a little bit. And then I was able to come up with more material. So now I'll go back and watch the tape from last night's show. I've got new material. So in a way, that shitty microphone was a blessing. I'm glad I had to kung fu my way out of that shit. It's gonna work out for me in the long run and turn into a lot of fun. And the audience understood what was going on. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry you had to deal with that piece of shit microphone. But they became more attentive and they were more appreciative after the fact. So just keep that in mind the next time that you're in a situation where it might not be ideal, you've got some bullshit obstacle or setback. Personally, I appreciate every obstacle and setback as an essential lesson in my development as a performer, as a husband, as a father. You need challenges, you need obstacles, you need setbacks. Steel sharpens steel, it toughens you up and makes you a better person. Anyway, that's all I got for you right now. This is jer-dog, the bar comic. Subscribe if you like this shit. Just smash that subscribe button right now, motherfucker. Hit me up on Facebook. Go to my website, jer-dogcomedy.com. Check it all out. I'm all over the place. We'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.